Welcome back to Action Figure Obsession. It's me, your old pal, Avian and Loaded, and a bunch of vampires. Well, not really a bunch, a small gathering, I suppose. Um, this is basically all of the vampire and vampire adjacent characters in my Hasbro Marvel Legends collection. I'm looking around the work table. I'm looking around the room. I think this is everybody. I did have the 7-inch Marvel Select Blade, which was a really nice figure. Very well done. But again, I purged some 7-inch figures from my collection over the last few weeks, just because they were taking up too much space, and just I don't know, for some reason the 7-inchers. They do not bring me as much joy as the 1/12 scale 6-inch collection. So I was very happy to trade 50 of those figures for maybe 20 or 25 other figures that are more in my wheelhouse and that I'm more excited about. Still have quite a few in a big box that I have not yet untaken. I have yet to untaken them out of the box. English is really hard. I've yet to take them out of that big box and go through them completely. There are a few that I have done videos on, but including, I guess, this. Where is he? Where's he hiding? Oh, the Wesley Snipes Deadpool and Wolverine movie version of Blade. There in the center. Blade is a character that I was familiar with going back to the 70s when he first appeared in Marvel's amazing Tomb of Dracula comic book by Marv Wolfman, Gene Colan, and inker Tom Palmer. That book was, I think, ahead of my time, because I was probably around 9, 10, 11, 12 when it was really cooking with gas, and I think that I didn't yet appreciate, for one thing, Gene Colan and Tom Palmer's sublime artwork on that series, Tomb of Dracula. I didn't really appreciate the long-form storytelling that Marv Wolfman was doing. It wasn't, at that time, my Marvel was basically Spider-Man, the Avengers, and the Fantastic Four, and a comic book about vampires. Tomb of Dracula was just not... unfortunately, it was not in my wheelhouse at that time. I have since gone back and read many of them, and they are beautiful and they are excellent, and I can't recommend them enough. And at some point, I really would like to make a deep dive and just read all. I think there were 76 issues, plus maybe a couple dozen issues of the adult magazine, which was by the same creators. It was just, it was a black and white magazine that was aimed at the grown-up crowd back then, but it was, pretty much of a piece with the stuff that Wolfman, Colan, and Palmer were doing in the regular monthly 32-page comic book. So Dracula here is dead center. He's the only Dracula I have. Theoretically, it is the same character from that Tomb of Dracula comic from the 1970s, but this is a reimagined version of him from when he appeared in X-Men. I think, but I might be wrong, that Lilith is his mother, I think, or his daughter. Vampire families are really weird, and I just made them a little weirder. You wouldn't have thought that I'd be able to do that. But Lilith and Dracula are somehow related, and Lilith is a figure that I only bought so I could complete a Build-A-Figure, but... And at the time that I got her, I just thought she was really weird looking, and I didn't really care that much about her. But the more I have looked at her, and I haven't really done a deep dive or research into the character as it's appeared in Marvel Comics, but Hasbro really knocked it out of the park. Look at the quality of the tampography. I'm assuming that's tampography and not hand paint. On the leggings there, the beautiful silver on the boots. That head sculpt, I think, is what threw me originally, because what even is her head? What is the deal? Is that white stuff her skin? So her skin has the two pointy things that go up, and then her hair is in between them? It's so bizarre, but it looks really good. And for all the world, it kind of reminds me of like a weird Steve Ditko design. Like she could have been something that appeared in Steve Ditko's Doctor Strange back in the 60s. That kind of is the feel that I get for her. Yeah, she reminds me of Nightmare. That's why. Now that I really look at her kind of objectively, the design is shares some design elements with Nightmare, the character of Nightmare from Doctor Strange, which is shocking to me that we still have not gotten um, a Marvel Comics based Nightmare Marvel Legends action figure. You would think maybe if the movies had done better, the Doctor Strange movies, I mean, people went to see them, but I don't think anybody's really excited about them anymore, are they? Benedict Cumberbatch, he was fine as Doctor Strange, but I don't really feel like he ever, I don't know, it didn't come together like it did for Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, or Chris Evans as Captain America, or Chris Hemsworth as Thor, like the big guys. For some reason, uh, there was a remove between Benedict Cumberbatch and Doctor Strange, as good as he was in at least the first movie. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. I don't know why that is. Anyway, the reason why I dug this all started with me digging this blade out of the back of one of my shelves. This is I think it was 2017 Man Thing Build-A-Figure Wave that had Blade and that bullseye that I showed you the other day, that original Hasbro Marvel Legends bullseye from that Man Thing Build-A-Figure Wave. Blade was in that wave too, and it occurred to me that I have that was one of the first waves that I completed when I got back into Marvel Legends in the mid 20 teens. And I remember building that Man Thing Build-A-Figure. So I have Blade. I still have Jessica Jones, the Netflix Jessica Jones, the Kristen Ritter figure. What else? Who else do I have from that wave? So we got Bullseye. We got this Blade on the far left. We got Jessica Jones, and there's one other one. I know there's one other one, and then I have the re-released Man Thing that they did to tie in with the Disney Plus Man Thing special, which was a wonderful, basically like an hour-long movie, or a little bit over an hour, I think. Very, very good. If you haven't seen that, you should. But thinking about that Man Thing Build-A-Figure wave. And I wish I still had them all. And also had the first Netflix Daredevil. I did have all of them, but stupidly let some of them go. But this Blade, I've never let go. It's an awkward figure. The body feels like a weird kit bash. The knees, it's difficult to get him to stand up straight because of the way the legs are constructed, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I managed to do so here somewhat. He wants to tip forward just because I picked him up. Let me see if I can put a little more pep in his step here and get him standing up straight again. Yeah, there we go. All right, that's a little better. I also realized while looking at him, he kind of reminds me of the actor Delroy Lindo, the face sculpt on him, which is interesting to me because the Roadblock figure that was an Amazon exclusive in the G.I. Joe Classified series line, I think he reminds me of Delroy Lindo too. I think he has a really interesting face, and I suspect somebody at Hasbro might think so too. So we have that Man Thing Build-A-Figure wave Blade here on the far left. Then we have, I think Lilith was in the Strange Tales wave, along with this Blade, if I recall correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong. Feel free to leave a comment. This Blade, of course, this is a slight kit bash. This is the most recent comic book version of Blade in the Marvel Legends line. And I didn't like the way the hands looked, so I swapped them out for black gloved hands, and then I put black cuffs on them to give you the illusion that he is wearing black gloves with a rolled-up cuff. I think that looks better than the hands that he came with out of the box. Guess I'm all over the map here. This is Bloodstorm, the vampire version of Storm. And I believe that she was from correct me if I'm wrong, I think she was from the Mutant X comic book that was drawn by Tom Rainey. So it's basically Punk Storm, but also she's a vampire. And if you can find anything wrong with that idea, I really question I questioned you greatly, because Punk Storm as a vampire, man, that just smacks all day long. She is just man, look at the figure, and it's, you know, if you watch some reviews, the articulation isn't great on it, but the sculpting, the paint, as far as I'm concerned, it's all there, and she can just stand there making some lightning and showing her fangs, and that's all I need from a Punk Vampire Storm. Let's get the movie blade out from the back here. You know, Wesley Snipes. He's tired. He's tired and retired. Tired and semi-retired. This is the movie blade from Deadpool and Wolverine. Wesley Snipes. His sunglasses come off, but he looks better with them on, so I'm leaving them on. He's got his sword there. He comes with this really interesting pistol. I don't know if this is movie accurate, this pistol that he came with. It's very futuristic looking. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if that pistol is a real thing from one of the Blade movies or from Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm not sure. But yeah, movie blade back there, and comic book blade right here, and Bloodstorm and Dracula. Oh, and I meant to say about Dracula, while I would love a Tomb of Dracula. Was it Tomb of Dracula? Now I'm getting all Dracula up here. It was Tomb of Dracula, right? The Marv Wolfman, Gene Colan comic. While I would love to have a version of him, the original, that's sort of... Oh, and I know he was based on a specific actor. I can't remember who now, but that look that Dracula had in Tomb of Dracula, would love to have one of those in my collection. I don't think it would articulate very well because it's basically a guy in a Victorian era suit. But I would also like to have that to go with these other vampire adjacent characters. But this Dracula, the thing that I like about this Dracula, and I actually bought two. He does come with two different heads, so you can have two different looks for him. I think one is a little angrier than this one, the other one. But it's a very Mike Mignola design. If you've read any Hellboy, it reminds me of something out of Hellboy. I don't know if the artist that designed this costume was taking some hints from Mike Mignola. You'll notice that his armor there sort of comes to an M in the lower torso there. So maybe that was a hint that he was paying tribute to Hellboy and to Hellboy artist Mike Mignola. I have a kit bashed blade back here, which is, nobody fell over. I really thought somebody was going to fall over there. This is basically this blade, same blade, but with a jacket from, I think it was Valaverse Action Force. Very, very stiff and hard. It was very hard to get this on him. And I think it's a Valaverse piece, maybe from Sergeant Slaughter or one of those guys. But the reason why this guy doesn't have his duster with the lovely red lining is because I gave his duster to Movie Blade, and I forgot to mention that coat was an addition to my Movie Blade. The figure is very, very thin and scrawny looking. It may be movie accurate, but I like a little more bulk to Blade, so that's why I gave him the jacket. This guy's plenty bulky without the jacket, but I did give him the vest just for some visual interest. And he has a sword, I believe, from the G.I. Joe Classified Blue Ninjas. I think that's where that sword is from, if I recall correctly. Put him over here. Stay right there. And is there anybody else to discuss here? I think we've nailed them all. This is the Man-Thing Blade and Lilith, who's either Dracula's mother or daughter or both, and then Dracula, and then Movie Blade there in the background, and Bloodstorm, who I think is the best-looking figure on this table right now. And that's saying quite a lot. There's a lot of figures on this table, but I think that I think that Bloodstorm, it's such a beautiful figure. Who wouldn't want a movie about Bloodstorm? Give me a movie about Bloodstorm. And make it in 2003 and have Halle Berry playing Storm. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll see myself out. But anyway, these guys all live in different places in my displays. This blade is in the back of my sort of classic Marvel '80s Bronze Age shelf, and Lilith and Dracula are on the X-Men shelf, and as is Bloodstorm, but she's on a different shelf. And this Blade is in my classic Marvel shelf as well. And this movie Blade is in a MCU sort of shelf that I'm kind of slowly trying to pull together, because I have accepted that I still have quite a few MCU Marvel Legends in my collection, even though it's definitely not the focus of my collection. But there are some that I do really like, and that movie Blade is definitely one of them. So there you have it. Huh. Got a little distracted there, folks. Sorry. It's warm in the toy room, and there are strange things happening. But I do have a new air conditioner, thanks to my lovely wife, who helped me set it up last night. And so it's not sweltering in the toy room as much anymore, and that is why I am sitting here talking to you for 16 minutes in relative comfort, because I just shut off the air conditioner to make the video, but it's still relatively cool in here. So, do you have a lot of Marvel Legends vampires in your collection? Do you have any? I was surprised once I started looking through the shelves that I had this many, even though 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are Blade. That was a little surprising to me. And then the others are all, I think, Dracula adjacent. Bloodstorm was definitely what do they call it? Sired by Dracula, and then Lilith. Well, it's a complicated relationship there with Lilith, right? And I'm too tired to look it up on Wikipedia. So yeah, I just wanted to dig out my vampires and vampire adjacent people and see what I had, and it was a little bit bigger of a crowd than I was expecting, honestly, and probably if I sort through everything, I could find some other people that maybe could have gone with these guys as well, but that's a video for another day. Thank you for joining me for this bloody edition of Action Figure Obsession here on the Avian and Loaded channel. I am your old pal, Avian and Loaded. If you have any comments, questions, analysis, observations, you just want to say hi, feel free to check in the comments below. Please do subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell when you do so, so that YouTube lets you know whenever I upload a new video here on the channel. Thanks again for joining me, and I will see you on the next one.